The new year has begun, and we have all watched videos of YouTubers setting up the most beautiful yearly spreads. I haven't filmed such a video because my bullet journal follows the academic calendar. But I thought I might take the opportunity to show you how I set up my bullet journal. When I started bullet journaling and had to find out what works for me and what doesn't, I just took some papers, folded them in half, and stitched them together into a small booklet. So let's look into this. As you will soon realize, my bullet journal setup is not that gorgeous piece of art that many others are producing. But the great thing about bullet journaling is that it is customizable to your own needs. And my needs, and the theme of my channel, are efficiency and functionality. So here you have seen a birthday calendar, a future log. I also have travel destinations or a reading list. A wish list, as well as gift ideas, and a shopping list, basically. Eco life, that basically means ideas how I could make my daily life more sustainable for the environment. And then I started to try out different strategies for the organization of my month. In the back, I have a dashboard. It doesn't show on video, but I covered this page with transparent tape so that you can easily stick and remove whatever you want. The dashboard also contains a little pocket for whatever you would need to conserve. And here I found this little feather that I picked up from the streets of Istanbul, as I typically do it. You can see that in this little journal I tried to doodle a little bit, and you all know who inspired these themes. I enjoyed doing this a lot, but on the long run I quit doing this because of time constraint. Now for my actual bullet journal, I chose a Leuchtturm 1917. That is as thick as a normal book, but as you use it, it grows bigger and bigger. I decided for a hardcover because this book is also an archive of my life, and I like it to be a little more sustainable. Regarding the Leuchtturm, many people complain about bleed-throughs or ghosting. But I don't use watercolors or that many markers that it would matter to me. For me, it's more important that the book is not too thick because I take it with me, but at the same time, I need enough pages so that it serves me through the whole year. This time I put the dashboard to the front, and it also has a little pocket. This book does not have a key. And I also don't do color coding because that means that you have to carry colored pencils, and I'm more going for the one pen black ink strategy. And even more space for general notes that are urgent or have nowhere to go. I also adopted the birthday calendar for my little booklet. And I like it a lot. It's very useful. For me, I use these little circular stickers that are designed for mood trackers, I think, but they also work perfectly fine for a birthday calendar. I don't have a year at a glance with 12 mini calendars on it. The future log is enough for me, and as you can see, my future log starts in September according to the academic calendar. I think I would never have the patience to write out the date of every day of the year, and this future log is the most valuable space. I have a lot of space for each month, and I fill it up completely. I also tried the typical goals page, and then I have my weight tracker. I'm not too crazy about that. It's just for a general overview, and then these little calendar stickers that I used to track my workouts. And yes, I know I did misspell tracker. For my lists, I decided for a Dutch door system to kind of enclose the section. I have books and movies, wish list, and again, gift ideas, activities, and travel destinations, as well as the Eco-Life list that I adapted from my previous journal, and cooking ideas. I want to do much more on this. And of course, a list of things I have to purchase and miscellaneous. As I am a person who just needs so much space for notes, I decided to conclude my bullet journal setup with another note section where everything that I could possibly write down can go. Okay, let's start with February. I will use another monthly kit by Planning with Kay. I'll use her YouTube channel and Etsy shop down below. I really like those ice bears over here, but some of the stickers are a little too pink for me, so I decided to just stick with the ice bears for the weeklies. This is going to be my monthly. Here you see me highlighting the weekends, because then it's much easier to orientate myself in the week without having to write down like all the first letters of the days of the week at the left side, which would be the most tedious thing to do. I don't need so much space for the month because this is only meant to give me a general overview over the month. And I also use it for my trackers. So each month I set up different trackers, most of them regarding health things that I just tend to forget to do. So for February, I chose 4 daily trackers and 1 weekly tracker. I nearly forgot the most important thing, which is the header. So next to this page, I always find it very useful to have a general to-do list for tasks that are not connected to a certain day. And to have this right next to the monthly just gives me a general overview over my week. The corner is my little soon section where I always keep post-its and where everything goes that doesn't have a space yet. And as many things that you have seen in my journal, this little header is in German too. I write it in fake calligraphy, and that's very easy. You just spread out each letter a little more than natural, and then you redraw the downstrokes. Next, I have a finance tracker to track all my expenses according to the categories where I think I spent the most money on, which is food and coffee, apart from my rent, but that's always fixed. And I actually don't know what was wrong with my brain of how I misspelled coffee. At the end of the month, I add all the expenses, not only to see how much I spent on what category, but also to compare my income with my costs, to see whether I spent too much or whether I could save a little, and how I want to change my spending habits in the future. As I know myself and how much stuff I write down, I have this extra space for notes. I kind of did not like how the first heading turned out, but I don't actually know if the second is any better. This little penguin daddy with his baby is way too cute to not stick it into this corner. Last month I only used one page for the finances, and that turned out not to be enough space, so this time I gave it a little more space. If you're interested to see how I set up January, I will link the video down below. For the weeklies, I like to do this Dutch door system. As the daily headers, I only want to use the stickers with a little ice bear on it, and this is possible by creating Dutch doors on the top as well. By the way, so many people on YouTube seem to have difficulties with how to spelling Leuchtturm, so as you go to German, I can tell you that the correct spelling is Leuchtturm, and it means lighthouse. Now, why that is, this I can't answer. Cutting the center of the book is a little bit more difficult than the side, because you have to pay attention that you don't damage the book by cutting into the binding. So I repeated this for all the 3 sheets, and now you can see that the daily headers are visible throughout the whole month. What works very well for me is to divide each day into a task section and a note section. So this we do for the first week, for the second, for the third week, the last week, and back to the first week, I still have to add the headers for the Sundays. The last and most tedious step that I dislike the most is writing down all the dates. And here it is important to write it low enough so that when you turn the page, the date is covered. So again, we do this for week 1, week 2, week 3, and week 4. Nearly forgot to put the headers for the notes and the task section. Here I was thinking of adding a little bit more color, but I decided to go simple. And through the Dutch door, these headers are visible throughout the entire month. A few last corrections and decorations. And now the final flip through. I hope you enjoyed this video. I would be very interested to hear your opinion on the setup in the comments. If you want to support me, give me a thumbs up. And if you want to see more of the content that I create, subscribe. And I wish you a great February.